welcome back to the series where myself, yours truly, your Celis, takes a dig into the deepest, dustiest corners of the Steam library, hoping to stumble upon something generational, something epiphanic, or at the very least, something that gives me enough to talk for the entire duration of this video, or half of it. Like I told you before, there's a strict minimum here. 2 hours played, no refunds, no excuses. I'm already financially committed, so now I'm emotionally invested. And I will tell you whether you should or absolutely should not cop these games. This is 2 random games from Steam, so sit tight, because today we're playing The House in Fata Morgana and Skillwood. Starting off with The House in Fata Morgana, a Requiem for Innocence. After seeing the reviews and the art, I had really high expectations for this one. Something was telling me, hey, this is a cult classic, and that gut feeling wasn't wrong. Now, what I didn't expect is that this game was a visual novel. Never in my life thought that you could find those in Steam, but no hate at all. I guess some people read books this way. Besides, I'm sure there is a following of not so interactive stories of this type. Now, I have to say I couldn't find myself at all enjoying this piece of media. A Requiem for Innocence is a prequel to the highly acclaimed mainland House in Fata Morgana. It tells the tale of a young man dragged down by his ambitions and a girl both worshipped as a saint and maligned as a witch. For them, there is no happily ever after. This sums up about everything. It's all tragic. And I'm sorry, I'm naturally a positive person, so I have a hard time with these portrayals. The game opens up with a picture of Morgana. I don't know how much I can show of this, so I'm gonna blur it just to be safe. Bound by shackles and brutally cut several times. It impacts a lot at first sight. You click and the dialogue advances, telling you the thoughts and the context of what our character is in. Click, 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 that's your method of progressing. Next, we meet Jacopo, our other main character, a man who deliberately gets himself in prison in order to free the slaves inside. A novel cause. This could grab my attention. Now, the continuous nothing happening on the screen and just text make it really easy to lose track of what's going on, at least for me. Then, this blondie appears right in. He was a tall, muscular slave who spent most of his time doing physical labor. Despite the poor conditions, he seemed to be keeping himself in rather good shape, and unlike other slaves, his eyes weren't filled with fear and resignation. But it wasn't hope what I saw in them either. Rather, they looked like eyes of a bloodthirsty wolf, and his unkempt, greasy blonde hair only served to amplify the primal impression he gave off. Between that and the faint, cocky smirk visible when he slips him more. Okay, buddy, we get it. He wants to escape too, and proposes a duel to death against Jacopo, so the nobleman running the place can get a show. Jacopo is understandably terrified, tension rises, and I got really excited. Maybe it was my time to hit some quick time events. No, this is just some clink clank, keys jangling sound in between dialogues. Some smiles turn into frowns. There is more gameplay in a movie than in this. Point is, they break the swords, that way no one has to die. And Jacopo looks at the precarious state of Morgana and has another target to save as the good man he is. They go back to their sails, ready up all these slaves, and you know the liberation mission begins. You barely see anything, just text. At this point I'm skipping heavily to see some action. Not much you can see. Everyone is safe. Jacopo goes back to the place he lives, a brothel, and takes Morgana with him. You can use spacebar to also advance on the story, and you can spam it. Believe me, you will have made 0.01% progress that way. You can save the game at any point you want. Now I noticed you have like hundreds of possible save games. What? Why? How? Whatever. Too much of a tragic story for me. I'm not going to criticize much of it. I believe it has a strong soundtrack. I believe parts of the story could be really translated into an interesting game. But it just being sad stories, pretty faces, and just dialogue feels like a playable version of Wattpad. I'm sure many people enjoy visual novels though. Pros: The House in Fata Morgana. Cons: A Requiem for Innocence. Next up, we have Skillwood. Skillwood is a relaxing woodcutter simulator, brought to you by Shulin. Good news, it's free to play and in early access. Bad news, the last developer update was over 16 months ago. It's always a shame to see a project like this abandoned. It's not particularly ambitious, but there was potential here. Visually, it almost feels like a mobile game, and the gameplay loop is undeniably addicting, so I played the entire thing without ever drifting my attention elsewhere. The title of the game promises all you will get: skill and wood. But it goes further than that. You get to mine stone. This is very much a game for the cozy community. From the moment you start, you're greeted with relaxing music, you pick your character, and you're dropped straight into the adventure. At first, it's just ground, branches, and dehydrated trees everywhere. What do? The tutorial lays out the key elements clearly enough to get the ball rolling. The campfire. You light it using the materials it asks for, and it increases your maximum stamina for chopping wood. Resting near it also makes your stamina recover faster. When it comes to wood cutting, you don't craft tools or punch trees Minecraft style. Your character always has the proper tool. The Actual chopping involves a small timing mini-game. Release the cursor at the right moment to land a solid hit. Yellow means regular damage, green means double damage. I think this is the part that makes the game so addicting. As you deforest everything inside, you'll notice experience building up in the top right corner. You're leveling up your wood cutting skill, hence skill wood. The higher your level, the more damage you deal to nature itself. Food is simple. You're never hungry. You just eat whatever fruit or mushrooms are nearby to recover stamina, and those are the basics. From here, you gather materials, upgrade the campfire for more stamina, and eventually realize your first island isn't connected to anything else. When you approach a possible bridge, the game asks for material to build it, letting you cross into new islands and start farming different resources. The further you go, the tougher the wood gets. Leveling up and eventually upgrading your tool becomes important, so this doesn't turn into unpaid forestry labor. You can also upgrade islands, which increases the size and variety of trees. This matters because once you fully chop a tree, there's a cooldown and waiting can get tedious. Maxing out an island solves that problem. You get enough large trees to farm non-stop, and the final upgrade unlocks an NPC who gathers materials for you in exchange for resources from another island, so you don't feel so alone and the progress becomes steady and not so much Jonah uphill. Third island grants you access to the stones, where you will start mining at skill level 0, since it's another tool. The grinding/farming starts again. There's nothing else to do in this world, so it makes sense. Just enjoy the music. Upgrade the island, upgrade the campfire, upgrade stamina, upgrade tools, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. My goal was always to hit the perfect hit. As you can see, it creates a streak that every 30 will do an attack with an area of effect. I expected to get something special on hit number 100, but nothing happened. My high score was 107, and I'm proud of it. Now, the real highlight, the thing I haven't mentioned yet, is Carlos. Once you unlock the hardwood area, you can upgrade this little egg that eventually blossoms into a beautiful woodpecker named Carlos. He follows you around, helps gather materials, and even has his own skill levels. Game of the Year contender right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, his name is Carlos. Now we have a wood assistant, people trading materials. This suddenly became a semi-automation game. From here, the only things I haven't told you, that the gameplay repeats all the way until the end. A portal will appear next to your campfire. Look at the size of my stamina bar, good lord. The portal lets you start a new game plus. You reset progression, but you unlock permanent power-ups. Cells earned by upgrading islands can be exchanged on a frozen island for bonuses like loot multipliers, damage boosts, faster resource response, and more. Did I do it? No. In about 2 hours, you've seen everything the game has to offer. As a cozy experience though, it checks all the boxes. I fully believe that with small additions of elements of survival, combat, or even a story, this could have been something really special. It's a shame the project was abandoned. We'll probably never know what happened to the developer. Still, my experience was genuinely enjoyable, and my favorite part was, without question, Carlos. I never played Terraria or Stardew Valley. Will Skillwood be a simple version of those games? Yes? No? Let me know. Pros, skill. Cons, wood. Now let's review them both. Steam only lets me say yes or no, which feels unfair. Why not a not for me but go off option? The house in Fata Morgana gave wings to someone who didn't want to fly, to a small ant who just wanted to rejoice on the ground with gameplay. Do I think my experience with this game was shallow? Yes. But you can't blame me for not sitting through endless clicking and reading. This wasn't made for me, and that's okay. I'll live with the pain of never hearing that melancholic soundtrack in full, nor knowing the end of this tragic story. Also, it doesn't have Carlos. This was a very easy yes for me. Mobile games I usually play on my phone, but this was played in a solid manner in my 27 inches monitor. Easy, casual, cozy. For 80 megabytes and $0 spent, you can really go wrong here. A 7 in my books, if I've ever seen one. Only reason it's not ranked higher, it's because there is no stone mining pet. Another day of honest work on Steam. Should you try these games? Absolutely. If you like visual novels and you're willing to invest around 10 hours into a tragic, slow-burning story, go ahead. Cop the house in Fata Morgana. It's split into several chapters, probably enough content to keep you busy while waiting for GTA 6. Skillwood, rightfully the same. It's the kind of game you don't expect to enjoy. Plus, it's free to play. I did my part. What you do next is up to you. We'll do this again sometime soon. Will we find something better? Only Gabe Newell could tell. My name is Your Celis, and with nothing else to say, good night.